Okay, what are the movements of plates like at a divergent boundary? So if we remember, the word die means what? It is separating, yes, but die means two.
Oh yeah.
Okay, die means two. So if we think about die meaning two, one plate's meaning two plates, right? Mm-hmm. So Tyler, how do you think they're moving? Away from each other, yep. Away from each other. All right. Number 9. All right, what is continental drift? Remember, continental drift was a theory from Alfred Wegener. Okay, you're going to see that name on the test. It's not something you have to know, but you are going to see it. And Alfred Wegener came up with this idea that he looks at the globe and he says, okay, these continents look awfully similar, like they were puzzle pieces. I wonder if these continents used to stick together and they've moved. Right? Do you remember that idea? Okay, so his idea was that both continents and plates moved over time. Does anybody have anything else that they would like to add to that? This is not the exact words, but
I just said it moves slowly.
Yeah, that's fine. The continents, they move slowly.
Oh, okay.
Okay, but it's the idea that the continents have moved, right? It's not the idea of how they've moved or why they've moved. It's just the fact that it's that observation of, oh, sure enough, they've moved. And he had evidence based on that, right? What were some of those pieces of evidence that he had? We're looking at number 10 now. What were some of those pieces of evidence that he had?
Rocks.
Yep, rocks.
Fossils, plants,
Whole
animals, how cold or hot an area is.
Yeah.
So we call that climate. Okay, and the idea that they fit together like puzzle pieces.
Do you have to name all of those?
Yep, pretty much. Those 3 of them are on the test.
Okay.
And I might go add a 4th one because I forgot about one of them. It doesn't change. All right, the next question that you guys wrote was number 14. What type of boundary causes seafloor spreading?
I put that.
You're right. Let's talk about what seafloor spreading is to begin with. Okay, what is seafloor spreading?
That's where underneath the water there's like ridges and mountains.
Okay. We're talking about underwater ridges. And what are they doing? Diverging. Okay, at a divergent boundary. So the type of boundary there is divergent. Okay, it's where they're moving away from each other. And when they move away from each other, new magma kind of comes up. and it starts creating these like mountains at the side here. And we get like a trench in the middle. Number 18. It'll be on a video. Okay, using sentences to describe this model. I'm going to put number 18 down here, and if you'll just give me 2 seconds, I'll get something worked up for you. By a show of hands, how many of you worked on this study guide over the weekend?
By the time I got home,
I don't want to hear excuses. I don't want to hear excuses. All I asked is did you work on it like I asked you to over the weekend?
I went over it, but I finished mine on Friday.
Okay. All right. That's all I need to know. Okay, this is what's going to be. I'm not going to write all of it, but this is what it's going to look like on the test. You're going to have a paragraph, and you're going to have different blanks with obviously a word bank. And so let's kind of go through and say, okay, what's what here? Now, some of it I added, but the words that I took out, you should know. Okay, radioactive decay from where? Where do you think all of this heat comes from in the earth? Yes, inner core. Radioactive decay from the inner core produces what? Heat. That heats the magma in the asthenosphere. Once the magma heats up, it blank and moves toward the surface.
It moves through the cooler magma.
No? What does it do? Once it heats up, it rises. Yeah, like I said, it'll make more sense when I have like a word bank, right? Okay. Moves toward the surface. Where, what does it do to the crust? Okay, it moves up and over. And what does it do to the crust here?
Separates.
Okay. Or pulls apart. I like the word separate better. Separates the crust from each other, creating what type of boundaries created here?
I can't never say that word.
At least you know what it is. Like, at least you know. Even if you can't say it, at least you know it's shock mouth. So it's going to be something like this. I'm literally going to explain this cycle. And you're going to have convergent boundary.
Okay, I feel like
You're going to have divergent boundaries. That make more sense?
yeah.
You're going to have Oh, this is the heat source. This is hot magma. And this is cool magma. Okay, number 20. Oh, y'all.
Can I tell you what I put?
Yes.
Gravity makes them move.
It has nothing to do with gravity.
Then I don't know.
Has nothing to do, well, a little bit, but not much.
Okay.
Okay, convection currents. That's what I'm looking for. Convection currents. Remember, you have that heat source, right?
Yeah.
Hot magma rises, moves to the surface. Once it moves to the surface, it cools and pulls it back down, right? We saw that in the beaker. We saw that in the hot air balloon. Okay, we saw this in the beaker. We saw it in the hot air balloon.
Wait, is that the answer? Oh, that is the answer.
Convection currents is the answer. All right, let's go through these and then I'll upload it so you can look at it. All right. Label the plates. JJ, can you label the plates for me? Or tell me which ones are which?
North America on the very top. South America below North America. Africa.
Top or bottom? Bottom?
Yes. Eurasia. That's on top.
Okay, very good. All right, what are the plate movements like at a convergent boundary? Ashley.
Convergent boundary, the line are coming together.
Yeah, so the plates move together.
One either goes under or they destroy themselves.
Correct. They subduct or they build mountains, right?
Like at the Indian plate.
Very good. What are the movements like at a transform boundary, Tyler? They slide past each other. Very good.
And then one's faster than the other.
Yep, they can move in the same direction, but one's moving faster than the other, so it's sliding, right? Okay. What type of landforms are found at divergent boundaries? Allie.
Ridge, underwater mountain.
Okay, ridge, underwater mountains. What else? This is like underwater. What about on land?
On land.
It's another R word. Rift. You might think about those two. Okay. What types of landforms are found at convergent boundaries?
Underwater volcano.
Mountain range.
I don't know.
Trenches?
Yeah.
It's saying landforms, not.
Say what now?
It's only saying landforms, not the water.
Well, just because it's in water doesn't mean it's on a landform. It's still made out of land. It's just not made out of dry land.
That's what I was trying to say.
What type of landforms occur at, which really this isn't a landform, but what type of landforms at a transform boundary? What happens? Earthquakes. As seafloor spreading occurs, what happens to the age of the rock as you move away from the
They
boundary?
get older.
Very good. Gets older. As seafloor spreading occurs, what happens when you get closer to the boundary?
They get younger.
What landforms happen at seafloor spreading?
Mountains.
They have to put, can we just put mountains and then put that?
That's fine. Label the different layers of the earth. This top one is lithosphere. I labeled that for you. We answered 18. Yep, okay, we're good. Any other quick questions before I submit this video and put it online for you?
Not now.
No.
Eileen and Sue, any questions? Okay. Boys and girls in here, any questions?
No, I think we're good. I mean, I'm good.
You can.